Hi, Mike.
Good afternoon. How's everybody?
Good. I have a question for you. It's a
Okay.
PC question. So something, I don't know what we did, but it used to be that we had like all that desktop stuff on here on this screen. Yeah. So it must- Yeah. So you know how to change it back by chance?
How do you find it out? We're doing the.
Maybe it sends. Maybe you have to switch those.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll do the last one.
Tom might know who a lot of it sending. Don't you, Tom? Oh, you got it. Great, perfect. Okay, yeah. I just needed to sounds. Okay, yeah, Magic Karma. Cool. All right, we're recording. Hey,
Oh,
Kevin.
hello.
Hello. Hey, Kevin, how are you doing today?
He ran over. You beat me. I'm doing well though. How are you?
Good, except I don't know where my knife disappeared. I just keep been keeping a knife in this bag to cut my apple, and I'm not supposed to bite into apples anymore. And
Oh,
I don't know, maybe I pulled it out when I was making my dinner lunch last night. I don't know.
dang. I mean, there's plastic knives somewhere around here, right?
I
We're the spirit and things in life to try to.
Yeah, you don't want to cut that plastic.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have a hard camping knife. It's hard plastic. But
We are tool using species and yet such a flimsy.
yeah.
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 Very true.
So we're waiting for Nana and
And
Mo.
Mo told me there was traffic right now. Said that there's a traffic jam apparently, so he might be a few minutes late. And no, I'm not sure.
They have the front of Iacocca all blocked off. So they don't why. Yeah, like if you come up either on the north side or the south side of Mountaintop campus, you can't make a turn to get in front of the building.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't there. I left the building after the faculty meeting to come over here. Didn't notice it.
Because it was up there, it was up last night and it was up this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice it. Oh. I mean, I parked behind. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't notice it.
So I was up here during the Northern Lights and like all these people came up
Yeah,
and they were all too late,
really?
including me. Yes.
What time was it?
I mean, apparently like the time to go outside is like 7:15 to 7:45. And like,
Yeah,
my wife, I was in the middle of class, and my wife's like texting me, she eventually calls me, she's like, go outside. And so I was like, all right, we're going outside.
yeah. We went, she saw some, we were watching TV show and Kate had mentioned going out, and then she saw a picture on, I guess, a morning call thing or something, I pictured out of Nazareth, and I said, let's go. And I said, great, so let's do this. Let's drive up Cherryville Road, see if we can see anything as we go up Cherryville Road, because we're high up and there's no lights up that road. And then, well, if we don't see anything, we'll go to Blue Mountain. And so we got to Blue Mountain, and the main parking lot they had closed, and a lot of people were up there because they had this little auxiliary parking lot I think they built when they were talking about water park expansion about 10 years ago. And so we parked the car there and then kind of walked down this little hill, and there's a lot of people there. Not a lot, it may have been about like 30, 35 people. And you could tell it was a little white. the lighter in the sky, but we didn't see the spectacular. So after the next, and I didn't dress for the weather. We kind of like, I ran out of the house quick when she said that. And so we came back to the house. She goes out in the backyard, and this is, by now it's like 10:15 maybe. Oh, that late. And the whole sky, our sky in our backyard, the whole half was like red. It wasn't magnificent red, but it was, you could tell,
Yeah.
you see the light, you could tell something was going on.
Yeah.
You could tell the color, like you could like look on this side in the south. And you got to a point like at this degree, and the sky just abruptly changes going this way. It's like kind of meet halfway in the semicircle. And then she was like, darn, we should have stayed up there, up at Blue Mountain, because it probably would have been a lot nicer had we stayed.
But you'd be up there for hours.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, 'cause I, from 8 to 9 onward,
Yeah.
nothing. At least where I was.
We went later.
Like I sort of like, because it was actually really hard to get dark sky up here, like with all the streetlights and
Oh,
everything.
yeah, okay,
So you had to really find a patch of shadow and try to block out
yeah.
the glare, but I was like, that's a little pain. But, that's.
Yeah, we missed something, too, based on, we saw some pictures of it.
Yeah, well, but also though, so there were people around, it's like, who had like cameras and things, and they had like really, really cool images, but that's because it gets done right in your eye.
Yeah, okay.
So a lot of push in and videos, like this is what it looks like from home, with the naked eye versus using photo. And photo looks much more dramatic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's exciting, you got. Wasn't planning on.
It's what's happening tonight.
Oh, really?
I'll double check that.
Are we supposed to have a clear night tonight? It looks clear right now. Yeah,
That's what I heard.
yeah. Yeah. Driving. All right, welcome. Let's get started. All right, so Junior's gonna join us in about 22 minutes, 27 minutes. 7, about 22 minutes, Junior's gonna join us. So how do we want to maximize our time with Junior? We got him for a half hour.
Do you guys want to go down and like explain like updates to see where Junior can help? Maybe.
Yeah, so why don't we do that? What do you want to accomplish today, the updates, and then we'll go out.
For VR, just really quick. I fixed the pink material. I just had to change the shader to a different rendering. I just made it standard again, and then I transported the whole house into the VR like environment. I can walk around in it, but I'm really high up. Like
Okay.
the controller, the actual
Yeah.
like camera is really high up. Pretty easy to like just move yourself down. There are walls and stuff still missing. I think those are just things that are outside of the static and dynamic components from the housing. So I'm just gonna have to either add color to the invisible walls right now, or like just make walls where they used to be. But yeah, that process is finished. I can show you guys later in the meeting
Okay.
what it looks like.
Kevin,
Yeah, I can go. Yeah,
what
so,
do you have for your updates? What are you going to cover today?
yeah, so I have some quick updates, mainly because I couldn't push my changes because there's still like a ton of bugs and I don't want to ruin like the branch build. But I do have pictures of the format of code testing. And I'm hoping you guys can, it's on the sprint report at the very bottom. You can see the new structure.
Can you put the link to the sprint report in the document? We didn't get an email from you that says, hey, check out the sprint report. So
Oh, yeah, no problem.
add it.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
I can add a link to our overall meeting notes.
Yeah. So did you work on the interface of the items? Is that what we're?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay. And you have like a video of it or something to kind of show us, or?
I just have the photos. Because the thing is,
Mhm.
with the like art row, like
Yeah.
this is how all of them are going to look like.
Okay.
So I wanted to see what.
All right, yeah, okay, fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
so we can do that without Junior. That's definitely,
Yeah,
we can do that first. All right. Mo, your updates?
I'm still working on the like volume slider, and I found that like for our WebGL build, like some volume slider for the menu thing works. So what I'm trying to do like last week, I trying to replicate the way we used to control the volume in the menu scene to like to the house scene. I want to do the same thing we did because I found that they use different methods. So, but like I trying to replicate it, but it seems that there are some reference exception. And I can't find which object is now or not assigned correctly.
That sounds like a junior assistant.
Yeah.
thing. All right, so we definitely want to. Sounds like we should prioritize juniors' time with Mo. Nana, your thing, I think, we might want to have some juniors' time too for your update, because do you know how to use, it's so the issue is in terms of where and I'm trying to think of the word, it's gonna be, it's one of the camera things that you have. It's one of the XR rigs, I think, is
Yeah.
the issue.
I just have to
That you
move the
have.
position down.
Yeah, you just need to move the XR rig down. I think
Yeah.
that's what you need to do. That'll solve your problem.
Yeah.
So
Like
probably-
being-
yeah. So I don't think we need, is there anything that you think we might need junior assistance for your stuff at all?
I don't think so. I think that, I guess next steps
Yeah,
is like what we'll all have to discuss at the end, just, since the house scene is, the house actual environment is in there, the
Yeah.
cat still moves, it walks around, that script works. I do want to show you guys, so we can see if you want me to like create the walls for it as a next step, just so it looks like a closed house, because right now it's just an open scene, the floor is invisible,
yeah,
a lot of stuff is,
yeah.
so.
All right, sounds like, let's start with Kevin,
Mhm.
see how we go, then we get that done for Junior pops on, we'll then move to Nana. And when Junior pops in, we might pause you and shift to Mo and then come back. I think that's the best way.
All right.
Run into the. All right, Kevin, so let me make sure everybody can share on here.
I can join the Zoom and share my screen.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay. Let me share my screen. Or not. What is going on? I'm getting an error right now. My Zoom, 1 second. If you want to see it right now, I did send the Sprint 20 report in the meeting notes too,
All
while
right.
I get this figured out. But yeah, you can see. So one thing I've done is I've converted.
So I do have, while Kevin's doing that, quick question. So with the in plastic, you know, we went through the play test on Blood Adventures, and I'll just, for lack of better term, I'll say desktop version. We have, without any, do we have a node labeled or identified in plastic that this is a completely working node, doesn't have any data collection in it? And do we have that? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's before, yeah, so there actually is one.
All right, so what I'd like to do we have time today. I'd like us to at least label that node, make sure it's clearly labeled in plastic. And also we put into the meeting notes that this node's ready to go with, you know, for the version without any data collection. what's gonna happen, the way we're rolling things out is, right, I got Michelle starting to build a website and I gave her all the information she needs. And she's gonna have to test some things out, but with, what we're gonna do is put on the link to the website. Once we, I think all we need left is just to get the survey measures in, and then test the survey measures for both a WebGL, and what I'm gonna say is we're probably gonna test. I'd like to make like a PC build and a Mac build of that with the data collection,
Okay.
and see that if you're on a computer with internet access, let's say I download the web from the website, the desktop version that's got the pre-test and the post-test measures in it. You want to test it on a desktop to see if I got an internet connection, if it works, if it picks up on it. Because what I'd like to do on the website, the way I've at least templated out the website is that you could click on this link and it's gonna take you to the WebGL version to play, right? Which, again, the most final, still working to finalize that. But then we'd have a desktop VR version that people with Macs could download, the PCs could download, that will have the data collection also. When we're done with the data collection, don't know how long that's gonna take, it might be 4 months, who knows? And I still have to talk to Kate Simmons because I want to see, and then one reason I want to test this is because I was thinking what we might wish to do in the winter time, after January, start of semesters, maybe do some outreach events over there where we can bring some laptop computers, as long as we know that the WebGL version, not the WebGL, the desktop VR versions with the analytics coded and the pre-test post-test will work if we have, like, we went to Nurture Nature Center and had access to their network and did this with 5 computers. I have to talk to Kate Simmons about this, but I want to pitch that to her. There might be a couple of days, we go on some weekend days for some outreach and events, or if they have anything scheduled with the kids. That's something we're going to have to test. But since we have it all, there's a node that's made. Once we're done in 4 weeks, 4 months of data collected, we feel we've got enough data to run, the analysis for the study. What we'll do then is take off data collection version, and we'll just have the node that doesn't have the pre-test post-test, but it will have the analytics, and then leave that on her. So I say the node identified. We don't want it to have pre-tests. We don't want to have the node that's got the analytics data, but not the pre-test post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Because we have permission now from IRB that we can keep versions with analytics up there. And there's some wording that I got language approved to put at the bottom of the web page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have plastic on mine, but if someone else shares their screen, I can show you the exact node that we have analytics. So we already do have, I think it's actually the most recent node.
All right, well, again, I'm just mentioning it, but we don't have to do it today. We can do it next week, but because I want to get it into the document. Doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be today. I'm just kind of giving you a heads up that it's something that we're gonna.
Gotcha.
I better not take the time to start hunting around.
All right.
I'll just put this in the notes.
Oh, weird.
We don't have, since we're not on there today right now, we can just put this on for next week. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can, I'll put that in the notes for next week, and then if y'all can go in there and identify that node and write the node and the date in the meeting notes, I'll put it above October 11th. That would be good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm gonna work with Michelle and all the other groups too to maybe start another repository or add to our repository document that we have with clearly labeling the nodes, because we did this we didn't do it in the repository document, but in Larsha Explorers with the 3 versions, we labeled nodes during the summer, but there's been some changes since then. All right, okay, you got there, Kevin?
Yeah, so I can show the pretest scene first. So I've made a few changes. The one thing I've done is there are no more drop downs in general. Now they're
Yeah.
just yes or no buttons like we talked about.
Mhm.
Another thing in the pretest, some of the feedback was to make the text areas larger. So that has been done as well. So this has been pushed back. So I'm wondering, do we think this is good for the pretest scene?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, perfect.
yeah.
All right, so here are 2 examples of the post-test scene now. So this was the last page. So if you remember, this used to be, what is your age? This text used to stretch all the way. Ignore all the lines, by the way, that was just the screenshot. Gender identification used to be a drop down. We had issues that was really small.
Yep.
And then these also converted to yes and no's. Yeah, I'm wondering what we think about this one as well. If I should make this maybe more in line with pretest where everything's just to the right, or if the vertical's fine.
Would it make sense to do the age as ranges, so there are checkboxes, pick one? No.
Yeah, just a input field, because I just matched them with what the survey in RedCap is. So this one would be a field input. Yeah. And then gender identification, the buttons, and then yeah. So this is the last page. By the way, this is an old picture, but the previous button no longer exists. So once you fill everything in, you press the next button and that's it. You're on to the next one, like we were talking about.
Right.
And now here's an example of the matrix. So I was wondering what we think of this. So we have the questions on the left side. It says, please select one option for each question. And then we have the buttons, the options here. So like I was saying, it's the user will not be able to go backwards once they complete a page. They'll only be able to move forward once each row has a button selected.
That the blue color question can be changed to orange as well, right?
Yeah, I can make that orange.
Contrast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that. Yeah, that's a pretty simple.
Yeah, I also like the font. Looks-
Oh, font's good. Okay, I was wondering, are there any other changes we'd like to make to the matrix section, or do we think? So like I didn't show it, but like down here, the only button is next. Go just say next. So like next is in the middle now. You just keep pressing next in the middle, and then once you're at the end, it'll turn into submit.
And they have to answer everything, then go to next page.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so if they click next, you have it coded, so if they have something blank, it says, please complete all items.
Yeah, so I'm still working on that, but yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna do. So it's gonna be like a little pop-up, and it's gonna say, please make sure to select,
Yeah.
please answer every question pretty much.
So, in terms of the layout,
Yeah.
like how many items can we get on a screen?
Yeah, so yeah, from this example, you can see I only have 6 questions, but if we want to make everything smaller, I can definitely fit maybe like maybe 8 to 10 per row with this guy. Because this is like, if you open this in the actual game, it's pretty big.
Yeah,
So
yeah, so I think you can go much smaller.
we can
Remember-
condense this even farther. If we'd like.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about reading on a screen, I'm thinking like maybe the equivalent size, like on a computer screen, of like a 14-point area about that.
Oh, like
type.
14.5 is what we're going.
I'm thinking, yeah, let me take a look. If I made some. Aerial. Yeah. I think, yeah, 14 point should be crystal clear for anybody. I
Okay.
try with, so when you code, can you control the font size?
Yeah, no, I can change the size of the fonts. Yeah. Like right now, I think it's at like 25 to 30, something like that.
Yeah, it's big, oh, so it's that big, yeah. So if you're at 25, you can easily get then twice as many questions.
Yeah, I can double this. And just make the like art matrix a little smaller too.
Yeah, but when you're gonna see what when you reduce the font, even, I know like, things will tighten up too. Like these breaks, I don't know how it is with coding on the values on the matrix. When I look at this, there's a lot of empty space.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see what happens when you change the font. Yeah, I mean, I would try 14 to start with. And
Okay.
then if it doesn't seem like, test it on a screen, see what it looks like. Maybe go down to 13 point.
13?
To-
Okay.
Yeah. The trick is, people have to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. Yeah, the matrix is yeah, much better. All right. Let's see.
One other possibility, do we have control over the vertical size of every line? You have some lines there which have one row of information, some have two. If you had control over the vertical size, you could probably fit 3 or so more lines on the same screen.
Yeah, so I do have control, so I can definitely take that into account. Yeah, because right now the way I structured it is like everything is its own little box, but I can shrink it to condense more info. Uh-huh. Right back and then you go to the bathroom.
All right, Kevin, that's pretty much it for your updates.
Yeah, that was my update.
All right. All right, now I'm gonna shift over to you.
Um, okay, I think that's what I mean. It seems like some of the materials just aren't appearing, and it's not like they're pink. It's more like they are very invisible. But I'm saying. Here's a,
Junior's here.
right.
Hey, Junior.
Hi.
Now it's gonna show real quick what she has. Your help is gonna be needed mostly with Mo then. So we're just gonna take a quick look here and then we'll shift over to Mo.
So this is, sorry. This is the current house scene. We just want to move through here. This is the garage. Like, some walls are invisible, but for the most part, everything looks good. what I've found is the reason some parts are invisible is like, if I click floor here, for example, if I go over here, this is not appearing, and it's not like,
Look up. There's no mesh plugged in.
I tried looking through this, and I think it means frictionless or bumpy or sticky. I think it's talking about like how, I don't know how to explain it. I think it's talking about like how that box collider, like how the material would interact with it.
Yes, that's the physics system, but go up because you are not seeing things in the material because you don't have a mesh. Look, mesh none above that.
Oh, I see. So should we plug this?
I don't know if it's like this. Click on the circle and get the standard one maybe. Or which object do you have? The floor?
Yes. I have the floor object here. Thing, look. But wow, I just need a mesh.
So is there anyone in the room with the project open in the older version like Mo or Kevin? Can you see which
one of them-
object is there?
I mean, WebGL.
One of them does work.
It doesn't matter. Because
That's-
she's dealing
yeah.
with materials. Look.
I think we can put cube there. Let's see if cube works. Since it works with the other one.
So Nana, start filtering by typing floor and try all the meshes that are floor from the project.
Okay, I'll try that one first. But
So you have at least 4, right? So try them and see if it's gonna render.
okay, I'll change the plane, change the materials, but we can change that back. Can we change it back?
Change the other one. Like just trial and error very fast.
All right, I'll check this off again. Seems like it,
Was this burlap the original material?
it did work. It's just a panel on the ground though. That did work though. Now I have to find the real floor, I guess. There was a bigger object for it. There's like a box collider under here.
Yes, there is a box collider under because it was the system that the previous group invented to avoid objects falling through the floor and getting lost. That
So-
box collider, it's a safety system for us. Because if the object lags and goes through the wall, it disappears in the box collider and goes back to its original position.
I see. Okay, so right now what's going on is only this small box took on the material, which is particular. Let's
Weird,
I'm
because
gonna
this is just one.
I'm gonna try cube as well, just to see if that might work as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yay. Okay, let's see what that turned into. There's no texture on it. Should we try a different cube as well?
So what you should do is to change the texture from the burlap to another texture.
Burlap.
Go up, like it's burlap. Get the texture material for the floor.
Oh, I see.
Another thing that you should do is to remove the cast shadows from the floor because we are not playing under the house. So there's no need for the system to be generating shadows from the ground.
I think it's because we don't have this script as well. But it is in the project, so it should work, honestly. But as long as we have color on it.
Go up for you to change the texture. There is a place for you to change the texture.
So Mo, since you have yours open, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you pull up the floor just to see what the components look like?
Where is it?
Yeah, that's excellent. If someone can tell us which
Mo,
things.
pull his up.
It's in the best of bedroom on.
Oh, yeah, this is the floor of the bed. So if you go to structures, structures. Right, yeah, and then floor. Technically, that's where we're at right now. It is burlap, but it's just rendering really poorly.
As there are many floors. There are four floors.
Yeah, everything is just rendering very plainly, like without the extra.
So check the rest of the variables. There are so many elements in this inspector window. We can see.
I definitely, maybe we could change the renderer as well.
Yes, that's also a factor. You're right. Because the VR renderer is more powerful than the one that we were using before.
Yes, believe that. Well, let's see if this will work. Gave us,
What is the shader that is there?
currently I was using standard. Standard isn't bad. It gives you a nice shine.
So let's take a step back and remember, we need to make the house come back to life. So pick whatever allows you to reconstruct the project, and then we polish.
Okay, so then this is fine.
The polishing process will be like comparing whatever was there in the original one and seeing if the new renderer will be compatible or not.
Okay, so then that's good. So far, we're good there. I'm just gonna go through and do the rest here. This was pretty much what I needed to bring the walls back to life. Hooray. Now I'm gonna bring all the walls back to life so that it's a house again. Oh, don't worry about this. Oh, what is that? Maybe a different hue. I didn't do that. Oh, I see. There are specific missions made for each thing. This is a light. There are the houses. Okay, so I'll deal with this on my own. We can go over to.
We'll go over to Mo, but I put in the note, I think a process, Nana, would be for you to work with either. I mean, you want to get the sort of the basics in there that you can do, but make it kind of look like the details you have in the desktop version. I think a good way to work to be get together with Mo or Kevin side by side, have them have on their computer Unity open with the desktop VR version so that they can select like the floor and look at all the different pieces of the components and the mesh renderers and see what's been selected, and then they can call that out to you, and then you can see if you can add those same ones to the VR version. That's what Junior emphasized. It's a good process. And I think it's going to be a lot easier for you and quicker too than having to do it all by yourself, having to switch between versions.
Yeah, because right now I think I do have to pull up the house scene so that we get the correct mesh. Because without the correct mesh, you have situations like what we're looking at right now, where it's trying to map it to a mesh that's not its own. So it ends up looking like the game run. You guys know what that is. But okay, I will stop sharing my screen and we can work on that further as we continue.
Great. Mo, you're up.
You guys have like paper towels to like.
I think we waited.
Yeah. I think
I have some here.
Yeah,
You can take a look. Yeah,
because
you can take a look.
I have a napkin. Yeah.
there, yeah, he gave it here.
Keep that.
Keep it. I'll keep the other. Yeah. Alright, literally gonna go. There goes that.
I'll put on my note to bring a box of tissues to lab. Well, I have some at the house.
So, um, what I found last week is that like I found the volume slider works perfectly in the menu scene for the WebGL build. So the way the menu scene controls the volume is quite different than we use in the house scene. So in here, it uses a separate script named options player preferences to control all the sliders and the mute button, and also the minimap toggle switch. So I'm trying to do the same thing in the house scene. Because it's exactly the same optional menu here. So I also add a component of a script here. And I also assign each object to the corresponding game object in the script. And everything is the same as the manual scene, but it seems that there are some like now reference exception when I was trying to play it. I can show that. There is a like now reference exception here. So it's in the lines 34 for the options player prefs script is here, but it seems there's something wrong with the TV slider component. And TV slider component here is the TV volume slider. As we can see here, I've already like assigned the TV volume slider here, but I don't know why it's still like now reference exception.
Oh, let's see if this project has a player prefs editor. Come to window.
Sorry, but I'm just trying to get this lab. Can you say that again, Junior?
Let's check if this project has a player prefs editor. It's a window just like the inspector, but we can see which player pref variables are in use in the project. So take a look at tools first on the top part of the window.
Hey, Junior on the, God, never mind.
No, so it doesn't. So
I think we can check the player preference. Yeah.
do you know how to check the player preferences without the editor mode?
No, I don't think we can check it using the editor.
See this editors thing here. What is this? Tools and then editors. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, but it's Pro Builder. No. Did you see that, like, is it window editors? No. Okay, so this project needs to have the player prefs editor added. Let me see in the documentation where it is. I'm pasting in the chat and I'm gonna paste in the notes. Download and import this player prefs editor, and it's going to allow you to see which player prefs are created, the variables, and which values each variable has at the moment.
Wait. Who's that?
Yes?
Is this an API?
No, this is a Unity package. It's an extension.
So that player prefs editor allows you basically just to edit the player prefs or add and remove whatever you have player prefs, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's
Click download mode. Oh, you have to remove get out of play mode first. Now hit import. Import again. Okay, now you can close this window. Go to tools again, BG tools, player prefs, and you can dock this behind the inspector.
Oh, that's good.
So the name of, let's go to the code again and see which is the player pref variable of line 34. It's TV volume. Check there if TV volume is, yeah, it's here. So it's a float. So at least we know that the null reference is not about the absence of the player pref variable.
It seems like it's the null reference is about the TV slider component.
Hmm. Okay, so it's trying to, at the beginning of, when you hit play, it's trying to find the slider of the TV volume slider and saving into this variable.
Yeah.
But so that's the issue. Like, let's go back there and see where is this? What is this code again? What is the name of that class? Options player prefs. Okay. Can you find the game object here that is holding that options player pref?
Here. Can you see it?
Now hit play and let's see if some of these variables will be changed during play mode. So this is the variable. See, if you click here, this TV volume slider, it should show, oh, it's because it's disabled.
Possibly like the option menus are disabled. This one is not disabled, but whenever you have you like the option menus are disabled.
So let's just run a test, Mo.
Uh-huh.
Leave the options open. Like, actually, you have to stop first,
Got you.
enable the options, and now hit play, clear the console window, and let's see if it's going to cause the issue.
Actually, I have tried before. It will still cause the issue.
I don't know if that's gonna help, but like when you stop playing and change this from runtime only for both runtime and editor. Where is that again? Yeah, the slider here. Oh, actually, this is the slider. Whenever we change the, it's not gonna do anything. Yeah.
Editor and runtime.
Yeah, but it's not, yeah, it's fine. It's not going to help anyways. Can you change the slider to automatic instead of none?
Should I play again?
Yeah.
Disable the option menu or not disable?
Well, you can try both. First with the disable or enable, you choose. No, it's still having the issue. Go to the player path, please. Here. I think Mo, nothing is broken like
No.
in the implementation. I think maybe the syntax of the code is not working.
But like we also use this code for the manual scene. There's no arrow in the manual scene, but there's an arrow in the house scene. Why is that?
Say that one more time.
like for the options player prefs script, we use it both in the manual scene and the house scene. But in the manual scene, it works perfectly, but in the house scene, it doesn't.
Go up and let's see if there is any scene reference.
Not the housing, but which scene, say it one more time, which scene
House scene is not working.
is, I know that, but which scene is it working in?
Manual scene is working. Manual scene.
Manual,
Yeah, manual scene.
manual,
Main menu.
Monocaine,
No.
monocaine?
No, not
No.
Main menu, the start game menu.
Wait, which one are you pointing?
I'm not sure, I'm not understanding.
Like the.
Menu.
Like-
Menu,
Menu.
menu scene,
Menu.
menu scene. The menus, main menus, yeah.
Mo,
Mm-hmm.
what is is it because it's private?
I can change it all to public.
Wait, look at that. There is no reference in the inspector for the object, so that's why. This is a basic issue, and we were going all the way in the end of the planet to.
Say that again,
Oh,
Junior, I'm not understanding the problem.
So here, Unity is telling you that there is no game object here to be referred to. That's why it's a no reference. No will have to drag from here each component from the options panel and drag there.
Well, why is that? Like, why all of them appears again?
You have that can't in the
No, it's
inspector.
not again. One is a game object. The other is the specific type of the component. It's a slider and toggle.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
the
all right,
component
I-
has
I
to be,
got it,
you
I
have
got
to
it.
put the specific component in there. That's the issue. Good catch, Junior.
That was easy because we see whenever I said none, just like Nana, I saw the mesh, none. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So if we are having recurring mesh awareness issues, is that something we need to build into the tutorials?
It's in the,
Now, unfortunately, this is attention to detail. That's
Yeah.
something that we all need to be always enforcing to ourselves.
but yeah, within the tutorials that we onboard our students, this is sort of a basic skill that we teach, is that they gotta look at the inspector and look at the components that are in these scripts.
And like in our troubleshooting today, Mo and I were too focused on the code of the player prefs. But whenever we have a no reference exception issue, we should start in the inspector to see if we forgot to drag something there. Because if it's a no reference, it's either two cases. It's either you didn't drag the game object that should be here. So this is a manual reference that we drag and drop. Or it's what we were doing, like Mo and I were doing, going to the line of the code and seeing if the code stopped at some point and then the variable was not assigned. So we were going through the other route and we forgot the most basic one, which was the inspector.
Before I play it, I have another question here, because like,
Oh gosh, this is bad. So now let's think more holistically. The group that created that, which was last year, was not play testing well because there was clutter and it was left behind, and now we need to. So it was kind of like extreme developing. Whatever it was done, it worked, it's fine. It shouldn't be like that. We should clean, test until it works, and then document. Leaving clutter like this doesn't help. So what Mo is trying to say is that in this scene, it works even with the lack of references.
yeah,
Let's just make one final test, Mo. Run this scene here and let's see if in this scene, these variables will be assigned by the code.
I think there will be no error here. Plus,
Hold down and see if there's none. So
it's not about that it will work perfect. I don't know why, but it will.
Okay. So the solution for this is first revising the entire code, this one here, because clearly we can see that there are two workflows implemented. The one that uses game objects as the reference, and then the developer tried to put the specific component of that interface here. But what happens is that if you go through the first one with the game object, the line of code will be slightly different. If it's going to be like, find game object of the name X, then get component of the type slider, or get component of the type toggle. So it's a two-step process. If we were only implementing this code with the second step, like not declaring the variable of the type game object, but declaring the variable of the type slider and toggle, it's just one line of code. It's just like get component of the type slider, because the very variable that we are using is already at its own core. Like, let's go back to the code mode for us to see that. This is what I was showing there in the inspector. That's why Mo was like, I don't understand why they are repeated. Here, it's one way of doing it, which is a little bit longer. You have to access, like here, get component, and then you have to assign to another variable so that it's longer. Or we could have simply done this. Instead of making the reference to the game object, we refer to the very type of class of the UI class, either slide or toggle. So this code is kind of macaroni, like it has more than it needs to have, and it's tangled. So the first step would be revising the code to simplify that. Otherwise, we will be always gambling, like trying to change one line, change one variable, but we will never have a hold of how this code is actually working.
All right, next option is the player pref, not CS code, right? It's gonna have to get revised.
Yeah.
All right, options, player pref.
And so a suggestion that I would give to make it easier is comment everything and just work with one variable. One variable that is being declared here, one variable that is having components being assigned in the start, if that's the case, and the same variable being used to set the value for the player pref. Whenever you can understand what steps you did to declare the variable, then to assign any value to that variable and save the player prefs, or set the player pref, like you read the player pref from the previous scene and you apply that value again. Then you can go and open all the other remaining elements because you understood how the workflow is. It's not deleting, it's just commenting out, work only with one. Once you can understand and test and see that it's working as expected, then you go and uncomment and make the necessary adjustments.
Should I like check whether it works now for the housing, like the volume sliders? If we like assign all the sliders or mute button manually, should we try it or not?
Yes, it's valid. I don't know like how we're in terms of time, but that's a valid test. But one thing that is going to happen, maybe, it's that if the main menu was working without the bottom variables, the slider and the toggle, it might mean that the code was written to get the component from the game object. So which is the two-step process, the longer process. But we don't know if the same code is applied in the game, the house. Are we there? So open player prefs, option player pref, save TV, no. This is just to save the player prefs. Is it in options menu? The main code is held? Yes. Okay.
Actually, I add the component here. Like originally for the desktop version, there's no script here. Like instead of using the script, they use like audio source dot volume to change the volume, and audio source dot mute to mute the audio source. So they never use the these options player prefs script in the housing before.
So Dr. Bodzin, that might be something that we decided at the end of the last cohort, like there was not enough time, and then we just asked them to make it simpler and just to mute and unmute the source for the playtest. But we need to revise the documentation to see if that was something that was left behind for the next cohort to address. Because the way Mo said, like using the audio source, it's very unlikely that we can have the granularity of control, like many sliders or checkboxes, saving the values to keep the same value for other scenes only with a component of the type audio source. We need to have the player prefs there.
Like before, it's like
yeah, very specific and manual, right?
It's like this before. Just audio source dot volume. It works for desktop version, but it didn't work for the WebGL version.
Yeah, I mean, the only notes I have with regards to the player prefs, nothing's talking about the volume. I think it was September 15th. I did a search where we had to this didn't deal with the audio, but this is when we were doing player prefs for the mini map. But this is all related to audio.
And it's funny because Mo identified this options player pref script. And this script is also controlling the settings for the minimap, right, Mo?
Yeah. Like they have
so
method for minimap enabled. But like they didn't use it in the housing. Instead, they just use game object dot set active in the housing.
Yeah, the I'm looking at the notes, again, looking at search with audio, March 31st. Again, this is the last group with Brandon was working on this, on the audio. It was like we couldn't get where there was an audio control was missing and outside, but I don't think this has ever been done. Like Junior said, this is, and I know like Mo, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, what started all this was, when we did the play test, all of a sudden we couldn't hear the TV volume, right? The outside was overwhelming when we made the WebGL build. So, I don't think the, I don't think the player preps with audio in different scenes have ever been thoroughly tested. I mean, we've done play testing and it seemed to have been fine, but
I
then,
mean, it do work in the desktop version. But
yes,
I think we have never tested WebGL version, right? Because we
Right.
never have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, again, it just seems strange that it worked fine in the desktop version, but not the WebGL version. And again, I don't know enough about the nuances when you convert to WebGL, what happens, right, to the code, if any kind of change with it at all, which I would think there wouldn't be, I can't imagine that like that player prefs
yeah.
code gets changed at all
it's not-
between
it's not
desktop and
expected.
WebGL. It just doesn't make sense that that would change. Anyway, I think Junior Solutions the best thing right now because we got to make this work. So and then it seems to me even once it gets recoded, when you recode it, Junior, what do you think of like if he recodes it? I mean, it's going to be a cleaner code, right? I mean, with the desktop version, did any of these error messages pop up at all when we tested?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Like this arrow?
Well, any
Wait,
Arrow.
you mean the arrow here or not? Like the arrow for the video?
Oh, no, this is just for WebGL.
Because I'm playing it in the
Yeah.
like Unity editor, so there
Right.
must be some arrow here.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Well, anyway, we got it. We have a solution we think will work now, right, Junior? Is
I'm checking with AI to see if there is any step between this. Why is it that the same like thing works in a desktop build and it doesn't work on a WebGL build? So I'll share the answer right away. Where is my connection?
okay.
I'm having some internet issues. I don't know what.
Yeah, I'm looking at ChatGPT's response to this issue too right now. The only thing it says is it's not going to deal with the compressed audio formats, I don't think, because we're using MP, the audio is MP3, right? Or MP4. We're not using WAV files, so that shouldn't be an issue. The it says sometimes they have memory constraints for large audio files, but I don't think that's the case either. But this one, which I think is going to get solved through the code, it says, many browsers require user interaction before they allow audio to play. If your game tries to play audio on load without any user input, it may be blocked. So solution is that ensure that audio playback is triggered after a user interaction like a click or tap. You might need to display a click to start button that initializes the audio. And we're not using, it says here, WebGL uses a web audio API, which has some functional differences compared to the audio unities for standalone builds. So some advanced audio settings may not translate well. Solution: avoid complex audio setups and rely specifically on Unity audio source features like spatial audio that may not be fully supported in WebGL.
I pasted my answer as well, so it says that it's different because of the browsers. And WebGL uses the local browser memory cache to save and store. Because the player path in desktop, we are saving that selection, that variable, in the memory of the computer, not in a temporary thing like the browser. So just like Dr. Bodin said, the configurations will be different. So in my answer that I pasted here in our documentation, ChatGPT is saying that is offering at least 6 strategies for us to consider and test.
Bless you. So what do you think, Mo? You got enough there to try to troubleshoot?
I think to make it work, I can just, cause like for the manual thing, it works. So it means the just like the audio source is fine, and like the script is fine, but it's a kind of, there are some redundant code in the script. So what I'm trying to thinking is that I'm gonna change a little bit of the code and to make it work for both the manual thing and the house thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, give it a shot, and then hopefully next week you'll have good news to report back to us with. Yeah. Okay. So any other, so we're pretty much done, right, with your updates?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nana, anything else we need from you?
No, I was able to start building the housing like completely after Junior gave me the tip on the meshes. Right now it's looking pretty complete. I just have to go through and handle the door frames
All right.
because they're like, it covers up the door if you just do the full game object. So I have to go collider by collider and add material objects onto it. I do agree with what you guys are saying about clutter. There is a lot of clutter, especially like looking through the housing right now and trying to like change certain components to match VR a little better. I think their organization also could be reconfigured because even in the structures, it has like floor, and then for some components, it's like bathroom, and then it's like black bathroom, like game object, but then there's the bathroom door, which has its own folder. I think we could compact this into like bathroom, kitchen, bedroom, and then put all the structures that are under each one in each one, like each game object, like little folder kind of empty game object thing. But for now, I think it's fine if I just make it look like a house again.
Yeah, but again, I agree with you, and this has kind of been our mantra all year is clean the clutter. You know, we're trying to just emphasize and reemphasize that to everybody in the lab this year is, you know, we don't want anything that could be cleaned up, looks better for functionality, ease of use. Let's do it. We want to get rid of all those red and orange council messages, you know, during testing, play testing. That's important.
I think that one idea that we could try to implement in our workflow is that cleaning the clutter and organizing either the hierarchy structure or the project folder structure could be one of those low priority, not brain intensive kind of tasks. Because every week, all these students have a very big problem to be investigating, right? But like, if we keep like smashing that thing continuously, the brain like burns down, and then we need to change pace sometimes. So maybe if we start getting used to whenever we are getting too tired or we are not being productive anymore at that main task for the week, we switch gears to organizing something or cleaning something, that might be an improvement on our workflow so that we can always enforce cleaning the clutter and not having to assign only one person to do that in a specific time of the project.
Yeah, and anyway, again, like, when you think about it, you're done with us in 2 months. So we want to make sure that when we hand this over to the next capstone group next year, that, the codes are clean and clutter's not there and it's well organized.
Exactly.
All right, anybody else have anything for the meeting today? Yeah.
So for future tasks.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I will finish the house scene.
Mhm.
Actually building it and being able to walk through it with VR. So for future tasks after that, what do you think would be?
I really think that if you are able to accomplish that, to finalize the house and to be able to walk in the house with the VR build, it doesn't even have to be the VR build. It can be connected to the computer, the headset connected to the computer. If you can do that, it's a major step because we are going to be able to start having user experience in the immersive interface of the game. If you can do that, like, you can switch gears a little to continue clearing the clutter because you have identified and like noticed yourself. So
Yeah.
it's like that. It's not less important. It's as important as the development.
It's all right.
So I would say, and I'm putting it in the notes, finalize the house, be able to walk through the house in VR, clean the clutter. And then I would say the next one would be raycast interactions with objects.
Yeah.
I think that's the next thing, is how do we grab objects, get them into the inventory system. Yeah.
Also, defining which button of the controller will be the button that advances the text of the tutorial. Otherwise, no one is gonna be able to play the game.
Okay.
Say that one more time, Junior, if I get in the notes.
I think this is a second step, but it's defining which button of the controller will be the button to advance the lines of the tutorial. Because once you start the game, the tutorial constrains you. You have to press the button so the next instruction comes up. So back in the day, in the desktop, it was press any key. So is it gonna be press any key or any button as well in VR? So this is like the second idea. The first one, just like Dr. Bodzin said about testing the raycast, the first place to test the raycast is the main menu. Like, we need to be able to point the laser pointer to those options and press the trigger button to select them. So, because these are the most basic actions we need to be able to play that immersive version. So that's where we should start.
Thanks, Junior.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anything else?
I would invite, not require, consider Nana and Mo making a 15 seconds public service announcement for future programmers that we could drop into the tutorial. I am though, I'm not, we encourage you to really pay attention to mesh structures because it could save you some time.
Yes.
Forget about it. Just 10, 15 seconds, pop it in there. That big benefits future students and then it'll be legends.
Legends. Like the people who left the whiteboard in the game.
Yeah.
The whiteboard,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I look up to those people.
yeah, cool.
Like,
All right, I'm
we got you.
declaring adjourned. It's Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care all. Bye-bye.